Hello everyone, welcome to my second video on, surprisingly enough, this is my second channel, and this is going to be my second video. As I mentioned in my first video, I mentioned something a little bit of a surprise here. You may be wondering, is that the Free French flag, but with Italy? Yeah, it is. And today I'm going to be talking about Free Italy, but I'm not going to be spending too much time on it, as it can make your game, it's one of those expansions or optional rules that can make your game much more interesting. Like, it can make it much more interesting than it normally is. Like, some of those expansions, like the Spanish Civil War or Winter War, even Oil Wars. But let's get into it. So first of all, why is Free Italy formed in the how is it formed in the first place? The way Free Italy is formed is if the Allies decide to liberate East Africa right here, and if all the Allied players agree, they can pay up to five or I haven't really worked out what the price is yet, but they can pay up to 15 or 20 IPP per country. So that would cost Britain and France. It would depend on the United States. Like, if they weren't at war, they would only have to pay, half the price. So if the price was something like, if the price was 15, they would only have to pay a little bit less. So it would be like 5 or something goofy like that. But how is it formed? So it's formed out of Italian Somaliland. So here. You're probably wondering, how exactly are they formed? And they're formed when the Allies take this territory. They can choose to either do what they did in our timeline, which was completely take it over and occupy it, or they can choose to do this, which is create Free Italy. Free Italy is essentially a puppet government, similar to Vichy France. You could call it like the Allied version of Vichy France, but it's not on the Italian mainland, so it's kind of like Vichy France, but it's swapped up a little bit. Like, it's similar, but not the same. Now, what do they do? What good do they bring? Well, you see, you got the, I have my Free Italy coaster right here. And Free Italy actually has its own income, like Free France. Like, Free France still has the French income. When Paris falls and France is split in France and Vichy France, its income gets split. Like, we roll 2 6-sided die, and depending on what number it is, it'll be okay. Free France will get this percentage of the French money, and Vichy France will get the rest. And I also have a reference card for this. I'll probably put the link in the description for the reference card. I'm not a professional at making anything yet. Like, I'm not a professional. Like, I'm not perfect. So I just took the HBG Free France and I modified it to be Free Italy. It's not my own work. It's just me making it so that way it fits. I just made it so that way it would fit in with the rest. But anyway, I have this little thing right here. You may wonder what it is. It's something I made to indicate the Free Italy capital. Because Free Italy and Free France, like, their capitals move throughout the game here. Let me show you. I have one for Free France, but it goes down right here in Chad. But the two countries' capitals actually move. if there's a liberation in North Africa. So inevitably, the French colonies up here are going to fall to the Axis. It's one of my rules that either Germany gets to occupy them or goes to Italy. Again, it's one of those things that you have to roll the dice for. But what if the Allies actually get to liberate North Africa? Free France will move its capital to northern Algeria, and for Italy, move its capital to Tripoli. Oh, and they'll also put their little roundels down here. Sorry about my nose, it's getting a little runny. The season's changing and all. Oh, and the roundels as well, they're not perfect. But yeah, free Italy. You know, expecting like somewhere later in the game, like maybe early 1943 or mid to late 1945, or no, not 1945, 1944. This is what free Italy would expecting to look like if everything goes according to plan for the Allies. But there's another thing and there's one more action free Italy can do as an actual country in my rules. It can participate in the campaign in Italy. So back in actual World War II, the Allies decided to lead a campaign in Italy. They knew they could do it, but it was going to be difficult. So they started to lead a campaign through Sicily, and they actually got pretty far. They almost got to Rome, but winter struck, and we all know how winter goes for everybody. It doesn't go so well for everybody except for the Russians. But the Germans saw how weak the Italians were, and they overthrew the government and took Rome and Turin. The land they took would encompass Rome and Turin. But at this point in the game, if you do the liberation of Italy, this is what free Italy would actually look like for the last time. This is the last time you'd be using free Italy as an actual country. So the way I have it written out on my reference card, which I do not have printed out yet, the way I have it written out is how free Italy becomes a major allied power. The way they do that is they liberate these two territories, and if they do a battle and take this, the fascist Italy actually capitulates. If they take that territory right here, and so if they take that territory, then free Italy is actually the new Italian government. I mean, they'd still use this coaster, even though it wouldn't be accurate, but you could use Axis coaster, but that would be moving it around. It's kind of like when Free France liberated its homeland and declared itself the new French government, or they declared themselves to be the French. But it's kind of like that. So yeah, I just wanted to do this quick video to show you how free Italy works. Oh, and one more thing before I go. I forgot to mention, they do have an economy. Their economy follows the same rules as Free France. And their technology, they cannot roll for technology until they become a major power. And by that time, it's going to be 1944, or heck, probably, it'll probably be the beginning year. It'll probably be the beginning turn of 1945, and by that time, the Axis would have lost the player, and it wouldn't have mattered if you started researching a technology or not, because you would have completed your victory objective, becoming Italy again. And if you're wondering, before I go, who Free Italy is controlled by. They're controlled by the Americans, even if the Americans are not at war when if Free Italy is formed. So, I suppose this was the end of my second video. And my next video will be a 3-part series on the 3 fronts. I'm not going to reveal too much about that, but there are 3 fronts you need to focus on in the war. But in the videos we'll be focusing on those 3 fronts. I'm not going to say anything else about it until the first video comes up probably later this week as the time you're watching this video. Anyway, I've already said enough. Nurse Commander signing off.